Okay, so today we're talking about the case of Arnold's. Okay, so we're going to be talking about the case of Arnold's missing parents, and this is the true story and urban legend behind Hey Arnold. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so what's the truth about the show? What's the truth behind the show Hey Arnold? I was talking the other day with the blog reader Brianna C. about a story we both heard that claims to be the answer to this very question. The story centers around Arnold's mysterious missing parents who, let's face it, might as well be ghosts. What? Well, in a later episode of the Hey Arnold series, we do get the fascinating explanation that they had been doing humanitarianism work in the jungle and got lost. But yeah, it just doesn't feel quite right, does it? No, it doesn't. Okay, so a loudmouth father and an alcoholic mother. In a story about kids, parents are really important. In many ways, they hold the keys to why a character is the way he or she is. Like in the case of Helga Pataki, we can see why she acts the way she does by looking at her home life with her parents. Helga's father, Big Bob, is a loudmouth bully type, and her mother, Miriam, is an alcoholic who can't go anywhere without constantly clutching a glass full of an exciting mix she calls smoothies. Oh. Pass dear, thank you. I don't know what that was. When she's stressed, she becomes a loudmouth like her dad. And though she's not an alcoholic, we can plainly see that she's an Arnold-holic. Yeah. Sorry, I had to be quiet a little bit because my brother's asleep. I mean, just like the way she's constantly clutching that heart-shaped picture head of Arnold. Not to mention worshipping at the secret Arnold shrine. Wow. LOL. But through almost all of the Hey Arnold series, we don't really see who Arnold's parents are. That only leaves his grandparents, and they are what the stories out there claiming to be the truth behind Hey Arnold usually focus on. And now we're going to get more into. The most popular of all these stories by far is commonly known as the Hey Arnold theory, and it's been gaining in popularity recently. If you've been following this blog for a while, the Hey Arnold theory probably sounds familiar because it's almost the same name as the Rugrats theory talked about here a while back. In some ways, then the Hey Arnold theory does have a similarity to the Rugrats theory, but in other ways, they are very, very different. See for yourself. Here's the basic version of the Hey Arnold theory. Hey Arnold theory is, according to the Hey Arnold theory, the truth behind Hey Arnold starts with the city that he lives in. The city the real Arnold lives in is actually a mostly poor area of New York, and the real Arnold is just a poor orphan living with his grandparents, Gertie and actually Phil. Well, at least he believes he's an orphan. In reality, he's the child of so-called grandparents Gertie and Phil. Gertie and Phil are mentally unstable and told Arnold a lie that his real parents are of normal age. Okay, I just got scared a little bit. I don't know why. Oh, there's a cat in my room. Okay. Sorry guys, back to the story. Okay, we're lost after a plane crash. Because Gertie and Phil were very old when they made Arnold, he was born with a few conditions. One of them is hydrocephalus, I think that's called. I don't know. And that's the reason his head has such an odd shape. The type of hydrocephalus Arnold suffers from is called Arnold Chilaceria syndrome. And I'm sorry with these words. I'm so difficult with these. And that's the reason why the show's creator decided to call the boy in the show Arnold. In his life, Arnold is actually constantly being bullied for his oddly shaped head. This is where another condition that he has comes in. Because of Gertie and Phil's very old age, Arnold suffers from several physiological conditions that make him see things that aren't there. Wow, okay, that's kind of what I'm doing right now, actually. Okay, and since he's been bullied a lot, and he prefers to escape into an imaginary world with imaginary friends. That's the reason the other characters in Hey Arnold have weird-shaped heads, too. It makes him feel like he's normal, and no one can pick on him because of his head. So, how did all this become a TV show? According to the Hey Arnold theory, the creator of the show got lost in New York one night, and since it was getting pretty late, he decided to just find the Closet Hotel and stop there. Not a good idea, but okay. Now we're going to be going on to more. While doing this, he came across a 9-year-old boy, a child of two people who were clearly too old to be having kids. Wow, this is really long, but I hope you guys are listening. Okay, so the creator of the show saw that the boy was mentally unstable and believed in all things that he made up, and so decided to sit and talk with him. He felt really sorry when he discovered that the boy only had imaginary friends, and he felt like he needed to do something. So he asked the boy if he could tell the story, and promised that he'd use it to make sure the boy's life would get better. But the creator of the show didn't keep this word. He just used the sad and strange story to make a TV show, which becomes very popular. He got rich and didn't care anymore about the boy who was still suffering back in the poor neighborhood, actually. Wow, that's kind of sad. Okay, the true story. Well, right, this story is really different than many other theories behind TV shows out there, because it portrays the creator of the show. Wow. The show... Wait, I have to read my sentence. Oh, it's in here. Oh. The creator of the show as the villain of the story. The creator steals the idea from Hey Arnold from a poor, disfigured kid and rakes in the cash after making a TV show based on his life. But is any of the Hey Arnold theory even true? Let's get into it. The funny part is that there is a guy that created Hey Arnold, but he didn't need to steal the story from someone else because Hey Arnold is based on himself as a kid, specifically how he felt when he was younger. So the true story behind Hey Arnold is that a guy named Craig Bartlett loved cartoons and animation, and he dreamed about making his own animated TV show one day. He had an idea for a show based on what he was like as a kid. A daydreamer with a vivid imagination, he would take experiences that happened to him as a kid and work them into the stories of the show. After college, he got a job working on the Rugrats cartoon, and while there, he got a chance to make his dream come true. He convinced Nickelodeon to let him make a show about a daydreaming football-headed kid and his adventure. I really keep seeing things. The reason the explanation for Arnold's parents doesn't feel quite right is because there's the excitement and hard work of the making of the show. Craig Bartlett didn't really spend the time coming up with a solid backstory that for Arnold's parents. But as the show got more and more popular, people began to care a lot about Arnold, and fans of the show wrote letters asking what happened to his parents. Now time to the next subject is lost parents. The letters started to really pile up, and the creator of Hey Arnold knew that for the sake of the fans, he had to figure out the backstory of Arnold's parents. Eventually, he decided that since Arnold was such a good person, his parents had to be really good people too. He came up with the story of how they were missing because they'd been trying to do some work in a far-off place and accidentally actually got lost in the jungle. Wow, okay. This was written into the show, but by then, it was too late for many of the fans. Tons of people had already came up with their own stories as why Arnold's parents were missing in the show's unsatisfying lost parents idea didn't help much. So there you have it. Arnold definitely was not the child of two demented elderly people who lied to him. He was simply the child of parents whose backstory was vague for so long. So that people thought that he had that, oh my god, I cannot read anything anymore. Okay, that they had been made up as a cover story for a dark real-life secret. Okay guys, I hope you guys like this little theory, truth behind Hey Arnold. I know it was like 9 minutes, but I actually kind of explained a lot. I did read some of them from this article, but I'm not going to put it in the description because I don't want to get copyright. But thank you guys for watching this. This is episode, I don't know, of Cartoon Conspiracy. It's going to be on my website, I think. I don't know. Bye guys, peace. Mwah. Love you. Bye.